teasing me. Now it's time to show and prove.
What are we in a conundrum now? Because we do have an acting Chief Justice who's not Walter Onnoghen. Do we have two Chief Justices now? Does he go back to being a justice if Justice Onnoghen is cleared of this? Or is this an automatic retirement? What sort of situation are we in now?
Well, if I may look at it, we can look at it from different perspectives. We can say that, of course, for now, like he said before, even though he's not a lawyer, that ordinarily we cannot ordinarily refer to the present acting CJN as the acting CJN, because the process that gave birth to his appointment is actually not constitutional. The Constitution lays down the process by which a sitting CJN can be removed from the office. And if he has not been removed constitutionally, then constitutionally he is still in the office. That shows us that there's a conundrum. But at the same time, when you look at, like I told you before, practically, when you look at it, this case will go to Supreme Court. And like what happened in Salami's case, it's very likely by the time that the CJN, or let me call him the CJN, gets justice, by then it's very likely that his tenure must have expired. It probably must have been more than 70 years old. By then it will be practically impossible for him to go back and become the CJN. Yeah. But when you talk about the position of the law, as opposed to what may happen practically, then we can say, technically, we have two CJN, and there is a conundrum.
What should he have taken the position? Because people are saying he's a justice of the Supreme Court. You know how the legal system works. Even if Mr. President is not a lawyer, might let's just assume, not know. You as a justice should have known better. Should he have taken that office?
He should never have taken it. He should never have taken the job because he, as a lawyer, as a jurist, understood the illegality of it. The other justices, like for instance, the judges and members of the Election Procedural Tribunal who were sworn in by him yesterday, should not have gone. We stomach a lot of illegality in this country. We are used to people just saying things and doing things in contravention of law. Every organization has a factional president. You have 2 or 3 people claiming to be president of the same organization, and all of them are claiming to be the right one. And the problem we have is that we don't want to ever stand up for the legality. Sorry to cut you out.
We're just seeing on our screen now the heads of the, I think, election tribunal has been sworn in by the acting Chief Justice. Yeah, go on.
So these are judges, and these are people who should know better. What I expect from every judge is to stand up and say the truth in this situation, even if it is at the expense of their personal ambition, so that the rest of us can take the example from them and stand up. As far as I am concerned, and as far as the law is concerned, as I understand it, there is only one Chief Justice of Nigeria, and that remains Justice Walter Onnoghen. Any other person there is an impostor. Yeah. Anything the impostor does is not legal. And the rest of us have a moral duty to ourselves, to our republic, and to the Constitution to not recognize the impostor and to tell the president to reverse his illegal statement. It's as simple as that.
The bench is traditionally very conservative. We hardly ever hear opinions outside of the court from people on the bench. So we're not necessarily expecting that to be different this time. But I guess it rests on the bar now. What should we be seeing from lawyers now, besides granting interviews and writing opinion pieces? What should be done?
Well, ordinarily, we expect that of course, the Nigerian Bar Association immediately issue a statement and talk about judicial or executive coup d'etat against the judiciary. And of course, I think the NBA has started. But to me, that is not enough. And of course, I also understand some lawyers are calling that let lawyers go on streets on Monday and protest and do all that. Whereas gentlemen of the bar, we have our way of expressing our discontent and, of course, our anger against the ills of government. And that's part of what I'm doing now. I look forward to NBA engaging the government on this and ensuring that we actually fight this, because this is a case of injustice against the third arm of government. And again, just yesterday, Buka, I was thinking about it. We are still to be corrected, but I think probably this will be the government that has most lawyers, or let me say, that has highest number of lawyers in its cabinet. You have 12 lawyers, you have a number of SAN. And I'm saying, like also Fenfalana has once said, that if these lawyers do not talk, this is going to happen again. You know, Salami issue happened, it went away, and we are seeing a repeat very close to that. And of course, it's showing us that we're actually descending and going to lower
setting this precedent.
And these precedents are going to haunt us, whether or not we like it. And so I look forward to seeing NBA doing more than just issuing a statement. This government needs to be engaged, and we also need to let them understand. We are not saying NBA should stand for Onnoghen. That is not the claim. If the CJN has actually committed any offense, let him have his day in court, but let the proper thing be done the proper way. Yeah. And this is the argument we are putting forward.
How does this affect the elections? We have elections in, give or take, 3 weeks, 16th of February, at least for the federal elections. I think the state is on the 2nd of March. Does this throw anything away? Are we still on course, you think?
What this has done, what the president has done by this single act is undermine the credibility of the elections under his watch. Because he has made it clear that he is willing to violate provisions of the Constitution. If he is willing to violate the independence of the judiciary, how is INEC safe? How is the independence of INEC safe? You know, the president has executive power, the power to execute. He controls the army, he controls the police, he controls the DSS, he controls every organization in the country that can use force. And if he's willing to violate the freedom, the independence of the judiciary, the Chief Justice, who is his equal, I keep on making that point, who is his equal, then why do we believe INEC is safe? But nonetheless, at the end of the day, power ultimately lies with the people. We have employed Muhammadu Buhari to be our chief security officer, basically our gate man. We have employed him. And it is he's the chief security officer, CSO security. And we have employed him. It is within our power to renew his contract or to terminate his contract. And it is within our power to tell him he does not have the right to go beyond the powers we have given him to undermine our nation. And that is the point that has to be made before these elections. Because elections, at the end of the day, is our way of imposing our will on the people that we have employed. That is all it is.
Let's talk about the Constitution very quickly now. We've tried, or sometimes even pretended to review the Constitution, and there's still so many gaping holes. And people have said, what we need to do is throw this entire document away and fashion out a completely new one. Is this ever going to be possible? Because we know that the National Assembly continues to say, well, this is our job. You can't constitute an independent body to do this. And the National Assembly at the same time haven't particularly come up to the plate, basically, to do this. Where are we?
Well, for me, the first thing to say is, of course, like we used to say, and I still want to say it again, the 1999 Constitution is a fraud. It says we the people, who were the people who made the Constitution. We understand that the Constitution lies against itself, and of course it's a fraud. But at the same time, I do not buy the idea of throwing away the whole of the Constitution at the same time, because as long as the Constitution is still going to be made by human beings, you are still going to have a lot of lacuna and loophole. And so the fact that what we have now as loopholes does not mean we should just throw it away and start afresh. When you start afresh, of course, you are still going to have the same set of people made the same Constitution. And like we said, I have not seen any loophole relating to this issue we are discussing, the CJN issue, in the Constitution. What else do we expect the Constitution to provide for in relation to the word suspension was invented from the blues, in relation to the removal of the CJN. The Constitution is perfect in relation to this, to my mind. And so when you talk about everybody wants an argument, they want to weigh out by saying the Constitution is this and that. And we need to understand in this nation, as long as we have decided not to comply with our laws, if the laws were made by the angels, we will always find fault with the law. And so what we need to do is we have to comply with the extant laws and follow the process laid down by the law. It is then we can have a society we look forward to having and our children can actually be proud of. Let the Constitution be made in heaven. Let the angel be the clerk of the house. You will always have fault with the Constitution, provided as long as we have decided not to comply with the provision of the Constitution. And that is simple. And so those who are saying throw away 1999 Constitution, even though I believe it's a fraud, I believe the Constitution lies against itself, it is not that bad that we need to throw it away.
It can be fixed.
It can be fixed. And once it is fixed, let's have the will and the purpose, the resolve as a nation to follow what the Constitution actually provides for, it is then that we can have a sane society.
Thank you very much, Felix. Thank you very much, Andy. So much to talk about. We continue to have this conversation. I know that a lot of Nigerians are looking for answers, basically, especially with what happened on Friday. I know Monday is going to be a very interesting day to find out how this continues to unfold. Thank you very much for being here today. I hope you come back soon.
Thank you.
Teasing me.